Hey everyone, it's Meg and welcome to my 12-week pregnancy vlog. I am so excited that the first trimester is coming to a close very soon and that we are really looking forward to second trimester and just all in general feeling better. In this video, I am going to quickly go over my symptoms that I've had thus far in this pregnancy and the scare that we had at week 10. So to get right into it, I am 12 weeks and 2 days pregnant with twins, and we are really excited. I have my notes, so I'm going to be looking at those really quick. So let's just get to it. Week 5 is when I started to get symptoms, and the first symptom I got was exhaustion, and it was pretty extreme and miserable. And I felt really rude because I was constantly yawning and I would fall asleep. Really easily, like sitting up and talking to somebody on the couch at the table. I would just be like, okay. It was pretty intense, so I had to nap at least once a day, and there were times that sometimes I napped more than once a day. That has eased up since week 5. I would say by week 10 it started to lessen. It's not as extreme. Now it's just tiredness from growing a baby and another baby. So it's not as awful, but I'm still tired. I get tired easily, but it's not as extreme as it was. Week 6 is when my nausea started, and it was all day nausea. I never threw up, but I just stayed nauseous constantly. Nothing made it better. Everything made it worse, it seemed. It was pretty miserable. Also around week 10 is when it eased up, and now the nausea that I experience is usually because I've waited too long in between meals. So that's usually like my own fault for causing it. So it's not as constant as it once was. And I'm very thankful for that because that was pretty miserable. Also in week 6 is when I started having frequent bathroom breaks. I use the bathroom a lot now. I get up in the middle of the night about once or twice to relieve myself. It's more annoying than it is anything else, but I'm alright with it. Around week 7, I started to have breast tenderness. My breasts are much heavier and they're far denser than they've ever been, and that's not all that wonderful. And I also started to experience some nipple pain. My breasts are super sensitive to any type of touch or things brushing up against them. I have to constantly be wearing a bra. I have to sleep in a sports bra because even just like a shirt grazing over, it just hurts really bad. It's so uncomfortable. So I'm not used to that. But so now I just live in sports bras in the evening because I have to have something like compressed up against my boobs apparently. And week 11, the newest symptom is headaches. As the nausea and the tiredness are slowly decreasing, the headaches are increasing. It was around 11 weeks and 5 days that I started getting a headache every day. And now I go to bed and wake up with headaches. It's pretty irritating more than anything. Occasionally I'll take a Tylenol just to help relieve it, but I'm trying to use that sparingly just to be safe, I guess. But headaches, it's just not fun. So in general, my symptoms have been not too bad. Oh, I did forget one. Week 7, I started breaking out, and now I still break out. That's kind of an ongoing thing. My skin just seems to be freaking out with all these hormones. I have all these little bumps all over my face. Luckily, my makeup can still pretty much conceal most of it, but again, it's just more of a nuisance than anything. So now on to our pregnancy scare. We had it's called a threatened miscarriage. On January 3rd, which was a Thursday, I was 10 weeks and 3 days, and I woke up that morning around 6 or 6:30. I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, a massive, several inch long, not to be too gross, blood clot came out, and it was just tissuey, and I was sure that we had lost one of the babies. I immediately burst into tears and I was on a repetitive loop of I cannot lose them, I cannot lose them. It kept going through my head. We called my doctor on-call hotline, and of course they immediately called me back and were like, you go to the ER. So we went to the ER that morning. Everybody we encountered at the ER was incredibly nice. our doctor, our nurses, my ultrasound tech. It was fantastic. The first thing they did for me was take 4 vials of blood, took my blood pressure, my temperature, and the ER doc did an immediate pelvic exam. My cervix was still closed, so I hadn't dilated, and he saw what appeared to be just residual blood up by the cervix, but not currently bleeding at the moment. So I was really thankful for that. After he did the pelvic exam, I had to get a catheter put in. That was awful. It's the second time I've had that done, and it was just as painful as I remembered and uncomfortable. Then we waited for our ultrasound tech, and she came and got me, and she released the fluid and blew up my bladder to the point where I couldn't stand it anymore, and then stopped it and, put a stop on the catheter so it wouldn't drain back out. And she performed an over-the-abdomen sonogram. In the ER, when it's a special thing like this, when it's a possible miscarriage, they don't let you see the screen. They don't tell you anything, and you don't hear anything until you see the doctor. So I kept asking, is everything good? Is everything good? And she's like, I'm just measuring. I'm just taking some images. She was really sweet to me and eased me, but she didn't give me a straight answer. And then towards the end, I started to cry again, and she was just like, I really think that you're going to be okay. And then that's when I realized that she probably shouldn't have said that, but I was so thankful that she had a tender heart for me in that moment, and realized I just needed something to say that they were okay, that the babies were still okay. So her just saying, I think you're going to be all right, was just super comforting, and I'm so thankful for those words. I did have a strange reaction to my catheter. It was more painful than it should have been. We're not really sure what caused it. Instead of having it taken out of me back in my ER room, they actually had to take it out right there in the ultrasound room. It was just really excruciating pain. It was like it would come quick, and I would just yelp with pain and never knew when it was going to happen. So she said some women just really don't do catheters well, and apparently I'm one of them. And we waited 2 hours before the doctor came back. That was kind of frustrating, but they were busy, and we knew that, and I was thankful that when he came back, he had good news. He just came over and put his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, you're good. Your babies are perfect. He was like, both babies' heart rates are in the 160s, and one baby is measuring 2 days ahead, and one baby is measuring 3 days ahead of their gestational age. So after that, he just said light bed rest and, of course, vaginal rest, which basically just means no sex, not for a long time. So that's what's been going on, and that has been my pregnancy so far. Now, tomorrow is Friday the 18th, and we will be seeing our perinatalogist for the first time. That visit's going to be a pretty intense visit. They say in the paperwork to prepare for a 2 to 3 hour visit, and it's going to be pretty intensive. The ultrasound alone is supposed to take something like 30 minutes or longer. I'm really not too sure what to expect, other than the ultrasound is going to just check every single thing. The growth of the babies, what they've grown, measuring everything. And they're also going to do I think it's called the nuchal translucency, where they check the thickness of the back of the neck to check for Down syndrome. So it's going to be a pretty big visit. After we do blood work, urine, and an ultrasound, we'll go back to the doctor's office to discuss my pregnancy and what they found from the test results and what our next steps will be. This will not be my last visit for the perinatalogist. I will be seeing this doctor throughout this entire pregnancy. So I'm a little excited and nervous. I'm hoping that both babies are still okay and that they're doing well. I'm nervous and excited. I'm really excited to see them again. We've had lots and lots of appointments so far with this pregnancy, and with each appointment we've had a sonogram done. So we've been blessed to have seen the babies that much. So I'm anxious for tomorrow morning. We have to be there at 8 a.m. Early morning, long day for a doctor's appointment. So that's it. My next OB appointment is January 30th. I will get on here sometime this weekend, hopefully, to let you know how the perinatologist visit went. Thanks again for all the new subscribers and the followers and the love and support you've been showing. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye!